Hello everybody, it's Wednesday, April 1st, and here is a new lesson. Not really all that new because we're going back to this packet that was given out on the week before we shut down. And so the first thing that I wanted you to turn in was the homework from the first lesson. But now, even though we had begun this page, the Mrs. Carr page, in class, I want to continue and do a little bit more with this. So we're actually going to start with the back number 6 because I know in every class we completed the first page. So we're going to start with the back number 6. We're going to talk about logs, and then I'm going to ask you to do some from the next page on your own. We'll do a couple, maybe the more challenging ones. I'm going to ask you to do a few on your own. And then we're going to start looking at the log graph. Now, you definitely need the graphing calculator. So, again, if you haven't downloaded on an Android phone the TI-83 or on the iPhone the Gen X calculator, you really have to do that because some of this work, we just can't get around it. You have to have the technology. And then I'm going to have you turn in the homework page the way we turned in the other homework. So let's start. Let's go back to this second page of the back of the Mrs. Carr, and let's start with number 6. Now, when we look at this problem, which says solve for x, and it has log base x of 8, log base x of 8 is equal to 3. Now, there's a couple of things we can do. We can put this in on y equals on a graphing calculator. So one thing we could do for this is we can go to y equal and we can type in using the math and the a, the log base, or we can use that log of 8 divided by log of x. So if we do that, we could do log of x divided by log of 8 divided by log of x. And then we can look on the table until we see 3 in the y column. So that's one way we can do it. Another way we can do it is we can take the log, which is log, and I'm just going to put base b of a equals c, and we can convert to an exponent. So remember, these two go back and forth. The base stays the base, and this is when I told you in class, if you put the exponent in the power, they're going to flip. So this would be the exponent and the power. So that's what I'm actually going to do here, because the base is x. So I'm going to use this method. I'm going to keep the base nice and big, and I am going to take the exponent. 3 is the exponent on x, the exponent and the power, and I'm going to flip them. So I get x to the third equals 8. So look at these two guys switch places around the equal sign. And then if I say, okay, now I'm going to solve, I'm going to get rid of this exponent of a third. This is when you could either use the third root to cancel to get x, and then over here the third root to get 2, or you could have, another way you could have done this, and I'll bring this line back down, x to the third equals 8. You could have used the reciprocal from when we did the exponent unit, because 3 times 1/3 cancels, and you still get, if you type this in on your calculator, you still get 2. So there you go. There's a couple of ways to do every problem. You take your time, you are going to be just fine. So let's take a look at number 7. Find the value of log base 5 of 25. Well, I'm going to leave these notes here on the board so that this way we can refer to whichever one we're going to use as we do it. So if you want to find for number 7 the log base 5 of 25, I would have used this guy here. Nice and easy. I would type in on my calculator the log of the power divided by log of the base. The log of 25 divided by the log of 5. So if you do that, you should get 2. The other thing you could do is you could follow this, and you can say, all right, let's make this equal x. And then you can say the base is 5, the exponent is x, and the power is 25. So therefore, x equals 2. 2 ways to do just about everything. And sometimes there's more than 2, so just do the best you can. Now, number 8, f of x equals log base 8 of x. So here's number 8. F of x is equal to log base 8 of x. So now they want you to find f of 4. So just like when we did this with function notation, wherever there's an x, we're now going to put a 4. The log base 8 of 4. So again, I would be doing the log of 4 divided by the log of 8. So I'll give you guys a moment to type that in. And you should get 2/3. Actually, you're going to get 0.6 repeating, and you know you cannot use a repeating decimal. And the reason for that is if I were to take this thing here and just bring it down, the log base 8 of 4, and I make it equal to x, and I say, okay, 8 to the what power equals 4. Well, I know 8 using exponents is 2 to the 3rd, still with the x, and 4 is 2 to the 2nd. So here now, this is yet another way to do the work. You could go all the way back to the exponents. And again, if 2 items are equal and their bases are equal, then that means their exponents. 3x equals 2, and x is still 2/3. So if you've been working along with these videos and you've been going back over the work we did in class, you were working with me in class, I'm showing you multiple ways for every problem. The more ways you know, the better you're going to do, always. So right now you should pause this video and you should do 9 through 12 by yourself. And then I'm going to want you to take a look and I'm going to give you the answers for 9 to 12. All right, so if you're turning your video back on, here are 9 through 12, and let's check your work. Base is 6. 6 squared equals x. I used the flip, so therefore x is 36. Here, again, I'm going to use the flip. The base is 2. 2 to the -4th equals x. Now, negative exponent means 1 over 2 to the 4th equals x. So 1/16 equals x. Now, if you were to have just typed this into your calculator, you would have gotten a decimal, and then you would have had to hit math, enter, enter, because you know I'm a lover of fractions. Okay, now this guy, The base is x to the 1/2 power is equal to 16. Now don't be fooled, x is not 4. You have to do the reciprocal of 1/2. We want to cancel this 1/2, so the reciprocal is 2. That cancels. X is 256. Be real careful with that, guys. Don't try to rush. And here, this one's a little tricky. Well, it looks a little tricky, but if you did 9 through 11 fine, this one should be fine too. The base is the parenthesis. Now remember, we don't really know what's in the parenthesis until we get rid of the parenthesis. So even though we can see it, pretend it's blocked in. Here's the exponent, and the power is 64. Now I want to cancel an exponent of 2. I'm going to take the 1/2 power, or the square root. Now I have x plus 1 is equal to 8 minus 1. X equals 7. All right, so if you look at this next page, there are just more of all these problems that I would now like you to do these 10 problems yourself. Take a picture, send it to me. I will have the answers posted later on today, but I definitely want you to try them yourself first. Because guys, I'm going to be putting your test up on the Google Classroom, and you're going to have to take the test on this. So don't just copy my work. Make sure you can do it yourself. Good luck, and I will see you with the next packet later on today or tomorrow. Stay safe.